And we talked to this guy, and he said, there's a furry convention in town.
Oh, right.
And I said, wow, this is crazy. So they all decided to get together. So they were at bars and on the streets, and it was like a...
What's going on, you guys? Today we have the Humanist Report, Mike Figueredo, getting in on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan has been lying to the media, lying to the masses, and Mike Figueredo is getting to the bottom of it. I'm giving my commentary. Let's watch.
Joe Rogan said this on his podcast.
My friend, his wife, is a school teacher, and she works at a school that had to install a litter box in the girls' room because there is a girl who's a furry who identifies as an animal.
Now, at the time that he made that claim, this hoax had already been debunked again and again and again. However, he had inside knowledge because his friend has a wife who works at the school. Therefore, perhaps this isn't just a hoax. Perhaps there's some real legs to this story. Except he's going to admit in a podcast episode with Michael Sherman, who's an author, that there was zero evidence for that hoax that he spread on his podcast to millions and millions of listeners. Let's watch.
Right? Or the kitty litter boxes in schools from last week. You know, that got spread around as a meme because it kind of fit the conservative view of, you know, liberals and their confusion about gender and sex and
But the kitty litter boxes is a weird one.
It is weird. It's, it's more like an urban legend.
I fed into that, and I should probably clarify that a little bit. I have a friend, and my friend's wife is a school teacher, and she told him that there was discussions in the school that a mother wanted to put a litter box in one of the bathrooms. And he told me this, and I talked about it on here, and then people were saying, that's not true, it's an internet rumor. So I contacted him again, and I said, tell me exactly what she said, and contact her and find out. She no longer works for that school. She works for another school. She contacted the other school. She didn't get a response. I don't think they actually did it. I think there was discussions about doing it because there was one particularly wacky mother, but it doesn't seem that there's any proof that they put a litter box in there. The reason why I was interested in it and willing to entertain it was there was about 10 years or so ago, we went to, there was a UFC in Pittsburgh. And when we went there, as we landed, we were driving from the airport to the hotel, we see all these people with mascot outfits on. We're like, what is going on? And we talked to this guy, and he said, there's a furry convention in town.
Oh, right.
And I said, wow, this is crazy. So they all decided to get together. So they were at bars and on the streets, and it was like a get-together. They used to do it in San Diego, but at the time, San Diego was a little bit more conservative, and they were having a hard time doing it, so they moved it to Pittsburgh. And this was the year they moved it to Pittsburgh. This is according to...
So we can see, you know, Joe Rogan is going to get proven wrong, and what's the first thing that he's going to do? He's going to say, oh, well, you know, yeah, I might be wrong, but these guys are super weird. Let's change the subject to these guys. Yeah, I don't think that was true. But I mean, look, let's be real. There's still some, there's still whatever he wants to call them. I mean, they're actually people that I don't know. I mean, I'm not too well versed on the people that are going as furries or the people that do that. But I mean, again, this is something that, you know, people are doing nowadays, and it's something that people are identifying as. And yeah, I mean, I think that if you are going to want to make fun of somebody, or, you know, put somebody in the context of like, oh yeah, we're going to draw attention to this because they're just like, they're so freaking weird, you know, it's like, okay, well, what do you like, what does that have to do with you at all? You know, what does that have to do with you spreading misinformation at the very end of the day?
So we check into the hotel. The hotel, the guy who was working the front desk was saying how crazy it was. That these folks were asking for their food to be delivered in bowls on the ground so they could eat it like animals. And I'm like, that is crazy. And then he said they asked for a litter box in the lobby. Now, they didn't put a litter box into the lobby, but someone, according to this man, asked him for a litter box. I'm like, that is crazy. So I went and did a deep dive online. I went to forums where furries go because I was trying to find, like, is this a thing? Do they like to use litter boxes? Out of all of my searching, I could only find one poster, one guy who said he had used a litter box. So this one person who was saying that he thought it was kinky and he'd like to use it he, they, it, them, whatever, like to use a litter box. So that was all I could find. So is that something that people do, or is it something that people talk about doing because it's fun? I don't know. But one of the things that I found about these furries is like it's sexual in some sort of weird way. They like to get together and have sex with their furry outfits on, and they don't want people to know who they are or what they want to keep the outfits on.
So it's a cosplay kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a cosplay kink thing that some people engage in. Like, how that got connected to gender, I do not understand.
It got connected to gender by right-wing propagandists who want to fearmonger about the existence of trans people. Because if you think that being trans is bad and that it's going to lead to people identifying as kooky things like an attack helicopter, as the joke goes, well, then it also logically follows that this craziness will lead to other craziness, and soon students who identify as cats will have litter boxes in classrooms as these woke schools try to accommodate them. I mean, it's the same fear-mongering and hysteria that we saw over gay marriage. Oh, well, what's next? If a man can marry a man, can I marry?
Right. It's all fear mongering to make sure that you don't break away from the norms, that everyone just goes to a good mega church like a good boy and girl, that everyone, doesn't question the white father, the white God in the sky, that he's the one who is going to make all the rules, that if you don't believe in him, you're going to go to hell. If you're not, thinking about, if you're not thinking about the other gender or the other sex, if you're not thinking about the other gender to have sex with, then something's wrong with you. You're going to go to hell. It's all of these things that has been so just concreted in to our, just our way of being, living in America.
A dog? Can somebody marry a toaster? We're seeing the same thing. Well, if I can identify as a woman when I'm a man, can I identify as an Apache attack helicopter or a cat? I mean, it's crazy that we're seeing the same line of argumentation against trans people as we just saw against gay people, even right down to the ex-gays. Remember that? Where, see, it's a choice and gay people shouldn't have rights because ex-gays prove that it's a choice. And we even have detransitioners, which I guess disproves the legitimacy of gender dysphoria and the existence of trans people. It's the same line of logic, and the rubes are falling for it again. It's so frustrating to me. So I'm glad that he admitted there that this story was bullshit. I just wish that he would have done what he did after he spread it first, right? So he called up his friend, perhaps after he got pushback, to have his wife verify she heard nothing back. And he essentially fact-checked this story. Why didn't you do that before you spread this hoax to millions of your listeners, Joe Rogan? And furthermore, if Michael Sherman hadn't brought that up, would Joe Rogan have even admitted that that was wrong? I mean, does he even feel guilty or responsible about the things that he says? I mean, on my program, if I make a small error, I feel like I have to correct it immediately. If I catch it during editing, I re-record. If I say something incorrect, I'll pin a comment to the top of my video, just making sure that people know I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. But Joe Rogan, he seemingly just doesn't care because he doesn't learn. That's the problem. If he made a mistake, then that's fine. We're all humans. We all make mistakes. But we learn from those mistakes, and he just doesn't learn. He continues to follow for these dumbass stories again and again and again. And what he says, it reverberates around the country. He's not just bullshitting with his friends anymore, as much as that's what he wants his podcast formula to be. He is speaking to millions of people. So when you come up with this bullshit theory about students shitting in litter boxes in schools, you have to fact check it before you say it, especially.
So there we have it, you guys. We have the Humanist Report. Mike Figueredo, he is going to just call out Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is out here, wanting to say bad things about just different types of people. He is wanting to, make it look like, oh, look, I'm out here wanting to just protect people, or, just wanting to protect the norms. I mean, what's happening to America? When in actuality, he's really just pushing this, just very, very divisive. It's very, very like partisan, like, oh, look, like I am a part of this movement, and you're a part of this movement, and, we can't even be cool together. Look at you guys are weird. It's very, very inside insider like S type of thinking where it's like, okay, well, I mean, I get it. You want to be trapped in your bubble, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.